Guys, that Cowboys game couldn't have been a tie. It just can't happen. There were a bunch of blowouts, too. I mean, a lot of stuff happened. But, guys, genuinely, I'm here to do my MLB postseason predictions, guys. Like, the Red Sox are in it. That's what we'll be doing. Anyway, though, just roll the play of the day.
Shaheed, back to Olave, throwing to Rattler, picked off! Bishop on the return, and knocked out of bounds! They tried a Philly special!
And going long, and he's got Johnston at the 40, grabbed by Flott, brought down there, they can't stop the clock, it ticks away, and the Giants have won their first game of the season.
I think this is the right decision.
Sam Martin, the veteran, for the punt, and return for a touchdown. McLaughlin's kick is
The player's not breaking the plane of the goal line. The ball comes loose. We see him let it go before it breaks the plane.
Jones down the sideline, one-on-one. Oh, what a catch!
Down the sideline, turn on the
Speed and a little stiff arm, ushering into the end zone for a Colts touchdown.
He sticks it out and it slips out of his hand.
Unbelievable.
Wait.
Pressure, and it is
Snapper A.J. Cole, the holder. The kick is blocked.
Time 34, and this one is good, and this one ends in the second scoring tie game in NFL history.
9 game-winning drives in his career. Trying to start one here, and he's got Atwell all alone. 2-2 Atwell, and it's 2-2 goodbye.
And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe, guys. Enjoy the Week 4 NFL recap and highlights. I'll be going through everything. You guys can see all the stuff that happened in all the games as well. But before we get into that, again, I'll try to get through this as quick as possible. But I will be picking my 2025 MLB postseason bracket. Again, if you don't watch baseball, just skip this. But if you want to hear my thoughts and my picks are, here they are. Yeah, I'm a big Red Sox fan, so that's really the only reason I'm doing this. But anyway. Baseball is the NFL playoff, if you didn't know, is the NFL playoff bracket. Again, except the reseeding thing, it doesn't reseed. Like, back in like 2019? I think this is the last season we did that. But anyway, again, we'll get into the football in a little bit. Injuries, big neighbors and all that. But for this, we got some interesting things. Again, all the wild card teams, again, you can see there, again, the top 3 seeds all won their divisions. The top 2 seeds had the best records of those guys. They got the buys, as you can see. And then, again, all the other 3 are wild cards. The top wild card got the home game. Anyway, though, I guess we'll start out with this Tigers and Guardians series. I'm not trying to go too in-depth in this one. Tigers are the best pitcher in baseball, and Terry Skubal. He's a lefty. He throws absolute gas. He's really freaking good. Their lineup's kind of weak, though. They have a couple guys who can hit for power, but that's about it. Guardians are the hottest team in baseball right now, and they have had a decent amount of home games, home series here in the wild card, now that I think about it, considering how weak the Central's been. Tigers obviously coughed up this division in the last week or so. I'm going to pick the Guardians to win this one. I feel strong. Yes, their rotation isn't the greatest, but Gavin Williams is a good starter. They got a couple other good guys there as well. Their bullpen is pretty decent despite, Amanda Clash saying all that. I see them taking this one in 2, guys, to be honest with you guys. Again, we look at the playoffs. It's best of 3 for the wild card, so again, that first game is huge. All of them are home for the, all games are at home for the higher seed. Then again, 5 games, 7 games, and obviously the World Series is 7 games as well. Anyway, though, we move over to the NL. I guess we can do this quickly. We got Padres and Cubs. This is actually a really good series. Both these teams have really fun offenses. They've got some of the best players in baseball as well. Their pitching staffs have been very strong this year. Cubs obviously maybe not as talented as the Padres, but still are very good. Cubs, again, have really been solid all year. Just, again, have been overshadowed by the Brewers. I really think the Padres are the better team. I could definitely see the Cubs winning this one, though. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think that the Padres are going to win this one just because they have better pitching and they're a more talented team, but that should be a very fun series. Again, the Cubs absolutely should be able to win that one, again, in terms of, again, how they played this year, but at the same time, I don't know. The Padres are just giving me vibes in that one. All right, now we move over to the headline series of the wild card, which again is the Red Sox and Yankees. It's the best rivalry in all of sports. Again, their history is it's about as timeless as it gets. Red Sox, again, they lost their best player in Roman Anthony. He's literally their best player. I don't know. Let's tell you guys. Like a couple months ago, like a couple weeks, no, not even a couple weeks ago, like a month ago, they haven't really been too great. But again, they were able to clinch a playoff spot, hold on to that second wild card. Yankees have took advantage of a soft schedule the past couple weeks. Were able to clinch that fourth seed, and again had a shot at winning the division until the last day, which again they weren't able to get because the Blue Jays are the tiebreaker. With that said, though, this is a very huge competitive series. The Red Sox took the season series 9-4. They played really well in Yankee Stadium, but again, the fact that Lucas Giolito, their third starter, is out for this series is a big issue because I think this game will go 3. But to be honest, guys, if it doesn't go 3, I see the Red Sox being the ones to take it. Yes, the Yankees have the best offense in baseball by a lot of metrics, and again, obviously one of the probably the best hitter in baseball, and Aaron Judge. Again, 2 great lefty starters. The Red Sox just match up well against this team, and I think if Crochet goes out there and deals game 1, I don't see how they can't win this series. So give me the Red Sox in 2 here because I don't think if this goes 3, they're winning the series. But a huge, again, first start from Crochet, and then they figure out in game 2 with Bayo. Anyway, though, we move over to the last game, wild card round. That's Reds and Dodgers. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't even care. The Reds won like 82 games this year. They beat out the Mets. It was pretty pathetic by the Mets standards in that last series. There's really no reason you wouldn't pick the Dodgers here. The Reds just aren't really that good. Yes, they have a couple of decent pitchers in like Hunter Green, but their lineup really isn't that great. Elliot De La Cruz isn't all that, and they're just, again, the Dodgers are just so much better than them. Even though they haven't really been the greatest this season, they're just so much better than them. So that's why I gotta pick them. All right, now we move over back to the AL. We get the Guardians and Mariners. I think this is probably the irrelevant series or worst series out of all of the ALDSs, LDS series. Again, the Guardians, like I said, super hot. Mariners, they've had a great year. Again, we all know about the big dumper and Cal Raleigh, how well he's played. But honestly, the Mariners, their offense doesn't really strike me, despite it being a lot more stronger. Really is a great postseason group. Their pitching staff obviously is great, despite maybe not the same pitching performances we saw last year. But they have such a strong rotation. I don't see how the Guardians, at least offensively, are going to be able to keep maybe play the same way they want, especially playing 3 games in there. I think this game will go 5, but I see the Mariners getting their first LDS appearance in a long time and have a shot to go all the way to the World Series. We move over to the NL. Again, we'll save the 2 juiciest for last, I guess. Padres-Brewers is a really good series. Brewers are, again, were the best team in baseball this year. They won 97 games. They won that insane winning streak, again, all the hamburgers and stuff, free hamburgers. But other than that, they have, a legit ace in Freddie Peralta. They have a decent lineup. Again, Bryce Turning's been one of the best, most underrated players in baseball. Again, William Contreras is a really good catcher. Christian Yelich is a very quality hitter. They have, again, some really solid guys in this lineup. But overall, they just come down to the fact that they play very clean baseball, and they're really hard to, again, continually play well against. The Padres, on the other hand, again, I think I like their pitching staff against them. But again, at the same time, Dylan Cease hasn't been a true ace. They really haven't had that guy this season. The Brewers have that, and I see, again, if they're able to win the first 2 games, I don't see how the Padres win this series. For that reason, I say the Brewers get their first LDS since 2018. And who knows when they even get to the World Series. All right, we'll save the best for last, but we'll go to the Red Sox and Blue Jays. Again, they just played like a couple days ago. The Red Sox were able to win 2 out of those 3 games. The one game they lost was when Bayo, again, left the game with the bases loaded. And again, I think that is an issue for the Red Sox in this series. Can the middle of that bullpen really stick against this Blue Jays team? I don't really see that happening too consistently. But the fact that, again, the Red Sox have been able to play well there in Toronto, and then, again, they got really good hitters that, again, played great against the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays pitching staff really isn't that great. I see them being able to at least take one of the first 2 games. The fact that you have to go back to Fenway, and the fact, again, that Fenway has been such a great atmosphere this year overall, and also that they've been really good at Fenway, really in the playoffs, outside of that one game back in 2021, which, again, was the last time they were in the playoffs. Give me the Red Sox there. Then we over again the biggest series. I'm be honest, guys. I see the Phillies winning this one. I see them gutting this one out, and I think this is gonna be the season that they finally get a huge postseason win. Again, last year was super disappointing against the Mets. Give me them in that one. And then again, I don't really want to get too deep into that because we're already running a little bit late on that. But yeah, give me the Phillies in there. In 4, yeah. All right. Now we move over to the League Championship Series. Mariners Red Sox, it's a fun series, but give me the Red Sox in 4. I think they're going to actually sweep the Mariners here. I don't know. I just had to do something. Again, I got to believe my Red Sox, guys. So give me them there. Phillies, Brewers, great series, but give me the Phillies. They're just honestly, I think they're just a more talented team. Brewers, I think, will at least push this game to 6, but I don't see them going much farther than that just because I don't think their pitching staff will have that sort of stamina. Phillies are just such a loaded team. Despite losing Zach Wheeler, I think they'll win that one. And for the World Series, I want to say my Red Sox are going to win, but the Phillies, again, I just have a feeling they're going to finally do it this year. It's going to either be this year or next year. I think this will be the year. And how many total runs will be scored? I don't even know. Like, what are we going to say? 7 runs per game? And how many games in the playoffs? I'll do the math later. But yeah, give me the Phillies in the World Series over my Boston Red Sox. That is what I have for you guys there. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this bracket pick. And now let's get into the actual NFL.
Welcome
Welcome to the NFL Dublin game.
On front. That's a first down.
Football for a long time.
To the ground here. Gainwell is in for the Pittsburgh touchdown. Right, he'll throw to begin.
He's in loose. Here goes DK.
Boston inside the 5, into the end zone. 3 to snap it here on 3rd and long. A 4-man rush. Wentz has it hit at the line and intercepted. From 30, he gets it blocked. 3 games, 7 in the first half here. Wentz is pressured. Wentz steps up and whips one to a wide open JJ. Offensive line without the left guard Jackson, without the center Kelly, without the right tackle O'Neal, and then this is picked off. TJ Watt all day until it developed. Here's Gainwell, left side, and in for his second touchdown. Wentz will step up and throw to the end zone. It's a touchdown. Metcalf one-on-one to the top. It's a handoff, and Kenneth Gainwell will fight for the goal line and gets stopped short. 1st and 10, it's blown coverage, and it's Addison. He's down the sideline. He will take it inside the 5. 4th down and goal. Wentz rolls. Wentz will dump it off for Jalen Naylor, and the Vikings do find the end zone. It's a tied the numbers. Wentz stepping up over the middle, and it's broken up. Deshaun Elliott.
All right, and after all of that, the first game we saw on Sunday was a very, very good game. Again, the first of the NFL International Series this year. I think there's like 6 or 7, I don't know, something like that, games this year. Again, on the international slate. And again, we already saw one in week 1, but that doesn't really count. Anyway, though, these Steelers moved to 3-1 with a nice 24-21 defensively forced win over the Vikings, who now fall to 2-2. But again, the Vikings are still playing in Europe as they have the Browns next week. I think they got a bye after that. Steelers, though, do go in their bye week with a pretty decent record. And again, they're looking really good right now, again, in terms of like their outlook. But anyway, Vikings offense was really roughed up all game. Again, they were held to 6 points without a touchdown until the 4th quarter. And again, if it wasn't for some blown coverage, they might not have scored one at all the entire game. On top of that, for the Steelers, again, just really solid performance. Again, looking at the notes I have for this one, again, there were a lot of things I had to say. First things first, though, disappointing for first 2 drives for the Vikings. I really didn't like what they were trying to do, especially in this neutral site game. They really didn't try to establish a ground game whatsoever, really going. Second half, they started to actually run the ball a little bit better, but again, bizarre play with Jalen Ramsey, and he saw in the beginning and all that. Carson Wentz, 350 yards was pretty good. Linebackers didn't drop in zone. Rodgers, like Flacco, next week ain't fun to run. Yeah, if they tried to do the same thing as they did with Aaron Rodgers last week, I do think that Joe Flacco would be a lot more successful than he was in Detroit, which again, we'll get to in a little bit. But for the Vikings, yeah, that was just not good. He's not going to run. Aaron Rodgers is like, he can't move. Like, why are you dropping? There's no point. He's not going to run. Like, what are you guys doing? Carson Wentz didn't throw out to the numbers and didn't anticipate. That is true. So a lot of the throws, again, most of this yards came, I wouldn't say garbage time, but in like where they had to throw the ball a lot. He didn't really make any like truly like huge sort of like anticipation throws over the middle. On top of that, he just didn't throw the ball outside the numbers. It just didn't happen. Whether it was because the pace on his throws really wasn't there, or just the fact that, again, that wasn't part of their game. He just, again, that was just completely limited outside the game, again, outside a couple of those blown coverage plays. Other than that, though, what's this defense's identity? That's one thing I'm really wondering after this game, because, yes, a guy like Jalen Redmond might have had 2 sacks and had like 4 or 5 pressures, but they really don't have anyone on this defense outside of, again, their elite guys like Jonathan Grenard and stuff, who are really making consistent plays. Obviously, a guy like Brian Murphy and, again, Harrison Smith are very, very good, but, again, there's really nothing. We don't really know what this defense is going to look like. Again, Brian Flores is all about the blitzes and stuff, but I don't know if that's where this group's really going to do the best. Again, you saw those big plays they gave up. I don't know if that's the greatest thing. Oh, yeah, first loss outside the U.S. for the Vikings. They were 5-0. As well. Again, keep moving on here. Yeah, I guess that's true. JJ, yeah, I understand he had 10 catches for 126 yards, but I still don't think I've really seen true Justin Jefferson just yet this season. Again, I'm just waiting on that. O-line was horrible in terms of impact. Yeah, they didn't really do much in terms of like actually like creating holes or anything like that. Other than that, though, O-line, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, score a touchdown before the second half, maybe next game. I mean, again, especially against the Browns. Again, that'll be a decent matchup, though. For the Steelers, offense actually moved the ball, just not too well. I mean, yeah, they did move the ball. Now, I wouldn't go to the extent, like, we look at the yardage wise, like 313 yards, 5.9 yards play, which isn't bad. It's just, again, they're not, like, moving the ball at some, like, crazy clip like we saw out of, I don't know, the Lions in week 2. It wasn't, like, anything close to that, but they still moved the ball pretty well. Finally ran the ball as well. Yeah, the running game finally got going just because of the fact that, again, they kind of committed to it, and they had a lot of those inside zones / like outside counters that were really working with Kenneth Gainwell, which is a specialty. I don't think he's their best running back, but, you know, that's what they got right now. DK was moving. Yeah, that was a huge touchdown. He really came up clutch for me in fantasy. Again, he didn't really do much the past couple weeks. Again, he did great with that, but obviously very solid game from DK with the 80-yard touchdown. They don't have a they don't have a good wide receiver 2. I don't even know if they have tight end 1 though, because Darnell Washington, I guess, is their tight end 1 right now. Like, what's going on there? And then Jonnu Smith, you know, he's out there, not really doing much, but you know, that's what you get there. Yeah, where was the motion on second short? There was no creativity there. Again, in the red zone they actually did a little bit, which again was part of the reason they were pretty successful there. But outside that, again, really not too much going on there. With that said, though, other than blown coverage, great game by secondary. Yeah, that was that 1, 2, or 3 plays where they weren't great. But again, they got a ton of pressure. Again, you really can't complain too much about this group. Yeah, struggle on crossing routes, pass offs at the second level. That's really just for the linebackers. They didn't really drop too much in this game, which I'm not even too mad about. Jalen, had his best game of as a Steeler so far. Again, we all talk about his week, or not all talk about, but we again notice his week 1 game. But again, I think he looked better in this game. Yeah, came to play up front. They did a really good job again with this placement and really not allowing that Vikings offensive line to establish anything at all. And then first time through one in back-to-back seasons since 2016 to 2017. Yeah, great variation on simulated such disguise pressure. The reason I say disguise pressure is because they ran some funky stuff, and Carson Wentz was not ready for that. That's all I got on this game, guys. Again, the Vikings outgained it by a pretty decent bit, but again, Steelers ran the ball decent. They didn't technically control time possession, but they did good with that. Took advantage of those turnovers. Solid win by them. Let's get into our 1 o'clock games now.
Spectacular Sunday afternoon in Western New York. And Bills fans are out in full force to tailgate for a rare 1 p.m. kickoff. It's a great scene in Orchard Park.
It's a quick pass to Shakir, trying to get him out in space. Breaks through the defense and stays on his feet. Shakir, what a play! Kendre Miller finds an opening, and Miller still on his feet at the 5. Miller, touchdown! Up. Here's Cook. James Cook is in for a touchdown. And he's pressure coming right up the middle. Rattler in trouble. Rattler throws it away. Ball is loose. Allen taking a deep shot down the sideline, and it is intercepted by Sanker. Thomas, play fake. Allen rolling right, fakes the throw, fakes out everybody. Touchdown!
Opposed to them moving the ball, running it.
Rattler has plenty of time here, but nobody open. Good coverage by the Bills, so Rattler will run. Nice moves by the birthday boy.
Touchdown, not just in the field goal.
They fake the pitch. Rattler end zone. Touchdown. Chris Olave. It's Shakir, and that play's going nowhere. Allen, pressure's coming. Josh steps up, stays on his feet, and picks up the first down. Allen still going.
It was.
Chance of
should just hit the 3 at the end of it.
Allen, wide open, Kincaid.
Perfect.
Touchdown. And Johnston got hit hard as he got the punt away. Ebenesa coming off the edge. Rattler lost the football. Ebenesa got him. Saints recover.
All right, this is the actual game. My bad. I forgot about the Vikings and Steelers game that happened. Anyway, though, the Bills in a game that I picked up for the Eliminator. I mean, I can't pick them again, so I guess that's an issue. But in the Eliminator pick, the Bills were able to take care of business against the Saints, winning this one 31-19 in a game that was somewhat more close than this one. Saints fought 0-4. They're 0-4 for the first time since 2012. They at least won Week 5 that season, so maybe we see that again. I'm not trying to be empathetic with the Saints, because honestly, I don't know where they've been. I've only been a Rams fan long enough for them not to be ever 0-4. So that's what I'll say there. For the Bills, though, they're 4-0. They're really freaking good. We all know that. But next week, Patriots, a sneaky game on Sunday Night Football. The Saints, I don't know, maybe they beat the Giants. Who knows with that one. With the Saints, though, specifically, I don't have like a ton of stuff because they're just not very good, and we all know that. But still, Kellen Moore should be pissed and proud of how they played. Again, the punt penalty was where they should be mad, but overall, they put together a really good effort. Spencer Rattler, despite being ultra-conservative, made a lot of nice reads underneath and, again, finding the open man. Running game was very, very encouraging, and they ran the ball really well against this Bills, again, really just D-line, because at the linebacker level, that really wasn't an issue here because they were breaking tackles. Just really good planning and, again, preparation for this game because they had a lot of just open creases just because of the fact that the play design was really just diagnosing whatever the linebackers were trying to anticipate, which they weren't ever able to get to. Again, with the running game, that is. Again, the pass game, it wasn't great. On top of that, though, Spencer Rattler's 0-10 as a starter so far in his career. That's just not, you're just not going to really get very far with that. Yeah, too many miscues post snap on O-line. I think that is fair. Yeah, despite them having a solid running game, I don't think they really were able to build off much of that with the fact that, again, they still weren't really making great, reads up front as a group. Again, despite, Spencer Rattler, I still think making decent adjustments pre-snap. On top of that, Kamara continues to get harder in yards. Yeah, again, it wasn't like he had maybe the most fancy game, but again, he just got the yardage. Secondary didn't tackle, but yeah, they did cover the whole field. That is fair. They did a really good job in this game. Again, despite guy like Coolidge McKinstry just really missing like 2 or 3 tackles. Again, he had like at least 10 attempts, but again, he was very very good in coverage. Didn't get much separation whatsoever. And yeah, again, Architect with the 0-4 thing. What are we with this? All right, this is like, oh, there we go. Yeah. I'm just getting lost in the sauce right now. Oh yeah, this is another question I have. Can Demario Davis play safety? Obviously not like real safety, but like hybrid safety, because that might actually work out. Oh yeah, Cam Jordan broke Drew Brees' start record in terms of overall starts for the Saints at 229. Good for him. And then for the Bills, again, I don't really care about the rest of the Saints team. Again, good performance by this defense overall. For the Saints, though, Bills, though, my bad. They got to play better next week. I don't think it's going to be like, they're still probably going to win if they play this good, but still, they're going to have to play better than this. Also, it's their first 4-0 start since 2020. Again, that was the only other time they've been 4-0 with Josh Allen. Also, they've been 5-0 3 times under, again, in their history. That was 91, 92, 93. Again, they went to the Super Bowls those years. Also, James Cook breaks the touchdown record straight for the Bills franchise record with rushing touchdown 8 straight games. That's the record. Oh yeah, Josh Allen, 45th game with passing and a rushing touchdown that ties Cam Newton for the most all time. Shakir is still a top 15 yak threat. Again, that touchdown really just showed you again what he is again is in terms of yards after catch receiver. Dalton Cade with a really nice touchdown. Josh needs to, he does need to chill out on that scramble because again if he gets hurt, bro, they're cooked. But realistically, he'll be fine. James Cook, though, again, they keep running the ball. Again, this is a top 5 running game in football. Again, James Cook has been one of the best running backs in football this season. And they do need to be more consistent upfield pass rush wins because, again, a guy like, where is he? Greg Rousseau can't really rely on those counters as much as he has been, even though A.J. Epinesa is at least getting upfield pretty well. Again, that's what I'll say there in terms of the balance of this group. Again, Bills out getting by a decent bit. Again, it was a decent win, but still, solid effort by the Saints in this one.
Today in Houston, it's the Texans and Titans. One of them on the brink of heading home with their first win of the season. And that's coming up from Anderson's. And Ward under duress from Anderson. Slips away from him. Slings it downfield, and it's caught at the 30-yard line. And it is no good. Tight end in motion, marks up the middle, first down. Already missed from 41 today. Here's 43. Nope. And he did it again.
Power and the quickness.
Stroud going deep. In stride, caught by Collins.
Chance of the touchdown.
Stroud on the rollout, Marks has it. Into the end zone. Empty set, finds another seam, and off the ricochet, it's intercepted. Down in 3, pressure off the edge, picked up, Stroud going deep, got a man in the end zone, touchdown. Ward tipped at the line, incomplete.
In the open like that.
More ground, more pound, the cutback. Woody Marks.
Moving on to a game that, again, was anticipated to go as it did, in fact, go as the Texans get their first win of the season, shutting out the Titans. I think it's their first shutout since 2010. Again, that's for the Texans. Again, ESPN has it as their biggest shutout in team history, but I think they beat them 29-0, that being the Titans, in 2010. But anyway, though, this game was an absolute blowout overall. The Titans have hit rock bottom. I think that's the best way to put it for them. They're now 0-4. They've lost 10 straight games. Brian Callahan should probably get fired after this. No, he probably won't. But still, he has not had a good start here as the Titans head coach. He's now 3-7, 3-18. Jesus, overall. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Titans, and it probably won't get much better next week as they have to head Glendale to face against a Cardinals team that is not really being too happy right now. Texans, on the other hand, they got to head. They're gonna head to, where are they playing next week? Oh, they got to go to Baltimore. That should be a fun game. Anyway, though, for the Titans, yeah, there's just not really much good going on. This team is pathetic. I think that's fair to say. Cam Ward was absolutely lost in this game. The defense just didn't really look too alive, even though they really didn't play too bad. The offense, though, again, there's no way around it. It's the worst in football right now. Again, they literally can't get anything going. And the fact that every single game they've been in, it's the offense playing them out of it, and the fact that, again, none of the games have really been close the past 3 weeks it's just massive issues for this group. They'll win a game because, yeah, the D isn't that bad. I think at some point they're going to win a game because this defense, again, just isn't, like, really that bad. But until that happens, again, we'll see. Cycle around, yeah, if they, since week 12 last year, that is true. Because, again, this was a very, very weird game. But still, it's the fact that, again, they haven't won a game since week 12 of last year. That's just crazy. First shout-out. Lost since 2019 at the Broncos in Week 6. That was a very bad game. That was a game that Marcus Mariota got benched, and, they went to the AFC Championship that year, which is still baffling to me. No one got open. Yeah, this receiving room is actually awful. Calvin really, again, I don't think he's being used right, but he's just simply not creating separation. Alec Ayumaner is really the only receiver that's doing much of anything, and even then, he really didn't have a good game either. Cam, yeah, has to get rid of the effing ball. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He had open guys underneath and just didn't really get rid of the ball. That, again, part of the reason is just because I don't think you really trust the play design, but at some point, you're just going to have to make the throws. It's just that simple. Yeah, they didn't run the ball. Again, the efficiency doesn't look too bad, but they just simply didn't run it. Joey Sly got the Fairbairn. Yeah, he got something from, again, Kyrie Fairbairn. Again, he missed that huge kick last year against the Titans. Again, Joey Sly missed both these kicks. Xavier Wood and C did play well. I think that is fair to say. This defense at least wasn't completely, didn't roll over and die. For the Texans, though, yeah, CJ finally didn't suck yet. His best game of the season up to this point. Still not, again, phenomenal performance, but, again, did make too many mistakes. Offense still wasn't even that good. Yeah, that is fair. They left a lot of meat on the bone, but still, I honestly, again, if they ran up the score, it really wouldn't have made much of a difference. But still, offense still wasn't very good. They ran the ball decently. Woody Marks, again, forget his name. I can't pronounce that. No, I swear I cannot pronounce that. But still, yeah, this running game was actually a lot better than I expected. Nick Chubb obviously is, again, still cooked. Nico had made a great play on the second and 33. That was just a beautiful ball and a beautiful route by him. O-line, yeah, sort of held up. I guess on film, again, I watched a lot of that today. Again, just didn't really look the same to me, but still, again, that's what I wrote down. This is the defense we've been waiting for. They've been good so far this season. Again, the fact they still only got 2 sacks, again, it's just they just absolutely dominated this game. There's no way around it. This is the defense that we're like, this is one of the best. This is probably the best defense in football, and they play like it in this one. Other than that, though, chance to put yourselves in this hole. Get yourselves out of this hole. Again, against the Ravens next week, don't mess it up. Bury the Ravens next week. That's all I'll say. I think, again, if Lamar actually isn't playing week 4, yeah, this could obviously go south. Hey, I did say the Ravens, again, Lamar was going to get injured and this team was going to go south. But, again, I didn't think it was going to be this early. Anyway, though, we'll get more on that later. 350 yards, though, for the Texans. They just dominated this game. Not really much else to this.
From the Meadowlands, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, 7 before that. Here's a run again by Dart. First and 10. He'll take it in. His first career touchdown. And the Giants on top. 4-man rush into Herbert. Batted down. Picked off. Look who's got it. The big man, Lawrence. The quarterback can't get him. Inside the 5. On first and 10. He gets a block from Deculus. Downfield caught 5. Touchdown. Johnston works on Belton. To the left tackle, a block. They come up the middle to throw. It's picked off. Intercepted by Phillips. Second down goal. Dart. Shovel pass. Caught. That's touchdown. Theo Johnson.
Turnovers will come back to haunt you.
First and 10. And the Gallopin move, and look at the run by the rookie Hampton. He'll take it in for the touchdown. And Dart looks to the end zone. Here comes the rush by Tui Pelotu into the end zone.
Oh, hell no.
Dropped.
If I held in my hands.
Like, if you're a Giants fan, like, I don't even know what you'd be thinking. Like, you won, but you didn't win because you lost your best player. Like, I don't tell you. Yeah, prayers the Malik Neighbors that ACL will be intact and he'll be ready to go and he'll have a good summer. But realistically, this Giants team is not in good shape. But still, they're not 1-3. First one of the season. They got Saints next week, so again, maybe they get to 2-3. Chargers, really disappointing game by them. They fall to 3-1. Again, this is definitely like a prototypical trap game, as you'd say. Again, there's really no other way to put this, as they just looked flat the entire game. Justin Herbert played awful, and they ended up losing, as you might expect when that happens. But next week, they do have a chance to bounce back, as they will be playing who are they even playing next week? I'm blanking. It's the... I'm still blanking. Oh, Commanders. Yeah, there we go. So that'll be a fun game. I think it's in front of the whole country, too. So a little bit of a weird game, but with 2 good teams. Yeah, like I said, Justin Herbert did not play well at all. He just completely looked out of sorts in this one. Yeah, 3 interceptions last year. Already has that many this week, and you combine the one he had last week on that tip, and then again, no did he. But it's all 2 this week as well. That's where you get the 3. Yeah, why aren't they going man-to-man up front? I really don't understand. They have the personnel to do it. Again, Zion Johnson is just a straight-up prototypical man blocker, at least in pass blocking. In zone, he's a little bit better in zone as a pass blocker. He's a very unique guy like that, and the fact they're not utilizing that way is part of this reason. Again, despite the running game having, again, a big run by Omar and Hampton, which is, again, the one time they did run man-to-man, it's part of the reason they haven't really been running ball. Hate that they abandoned it. Again, I kind of understood it because they did have some decent opportunities, but at the same time, they can't be doing this next week, or they will be losing. I'll just tell you that right now. Yeah, that is true, because the downhill running game that's where, again, they got that one big run. Yeah, they did that was a dime to Quentin Johnson. That was just an absolute beauty of a throw, and he is probably their best overall offensive player right now. Again, I think you can say that. Joe also has an injury. That's a little bit of an issue. Other than that, though, yeah, where was McConkey since week 1? He really hasn't been out there. Again, he hasn't been used, and he's not really getting open. It's just kind of bizarre. I would like, I'm probably going to maybe do a video on that, a deep dive into what live McConkey's season has been so far. Yeah, spin cycle for Trey Pipkins. He did not have a great game on Abdul Carter. Keenan Allen didn't get open very consistently. I mean, he got open a little bit. There were a couple of routes where he was wide open, but other than that, like, it wasn't really that good. Reactionary approach could continue to develop for this defense. Again, I didn't really come away with this defense, again, with any terrible takeaways. Tuli Tupelotu just, again, he had like at least 4, again, not just the sacks, but 4 pressures where he just legitimately just did a straight arm right into the freaking belly of what is it called, tackle. I don't even know who it was. Was it... Who did even start this week at the Giants? I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I have no idea who they started. It was, Jermaine Olumnor. It wasn't a little bit of Andrew Thomas, too, where he just completely just tossed him. Again, he was just absolutely phenomenal in this game. He'll be Defensive Player of the Week. This is just an absolutely gross game. Again, he had like 12 pressures, something ridiculous like that. Super underlooked performance. Dan Henley, great game. But yeah, this defense, I wasn't really overly concerned from this game. Again, they completely, like, the Giants, they had like 250 yards. Like, what? Again, they weren't going to get us the run, but like, I'm not like too concerned. I like the reactionary approach. Again, that could definitely develop a little bit. Part of the reason they weren't good against the run, but that's definitely something they could work on. Again, once you get good there, again, you're just a defense where, again, even if the offense has you beat, you're still going to make a play on the ball. Yeah, they got a crap ton of pressure. That was probably the, again, big takeaway there for the Chargers defense. So at least they had that going for them. For the Giants, though, Jackson Dart was super quick on his feet. He still got, like, didn't really get rid of the ball the way you wanted him to, but it still wasn't that bad. Cam Scatterville got fed the ball way too much, but he still had 80 yards. So, I mean, that's good. Again, he's their best offensive player right now. So, again, they got to figure that out. Jackson Dart had a nice touchdown, like how they utilized him in terms of scrambling, and a couple runs were a little bit sketchy. But other than that, he was good. Devin Singletary, it was pretty serviceable on 7 carries. Receiving-wise, no one did much of anything, again, except Malik Neighbors, just decided to be out for the season. Like, what, you jerk? I'm joking, though. Obviously there. Anyway, though, yeah, they're pretty much cooked. I don't have like anything else. Yeah, Darius Musa on this defense were very, very good. Yeah, I guess they had ball control. Again, the time session maybe, again, I guess they had 35 minutes. That does make sense because they were 7-15 on third down. So the winning aspects of this game were apparent. But I'm gonna be honest, guys. I saw this game coming, like, to be honest. So I'm not like, there's really not really much that I like wasn't expecting. Other than the fact that Sexy Dexy, oh my god, that was an insane 30-yard return there. Yeah, now we know, the defensive ceiling. Let's see this. I don't think they'll win many games, but I think if they stay in games, it'll be because of how well this defense played this week. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys here. Let's get into our next game, which was... Oof.
All on Fox from Foxborough, Massachusetts, Week 4, as the Patriots host the Carolina Panthers. Each team hoping for its second win.
Leads all rookie receivers in yardage for the end zone. Open, reaching back and grabbing for a Carolina touchdown. Extra point, the rookie kicker, Ryan Fitzgerald. And he hits the upright. Fullback is in as well. Drake May. Can he keep it himself and take it? He will. He does. And that is a touchdown, New England. From 55 up. And
he's just one of those dudes.
As Henderson carries into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. He's trying to turn the corner, and he does. Marcus Jones. He just... Antonio Gibson, and that's a Patriot touchdown.
A good job with that stuff, using that athleticism right there.
Hunter Henry inside the 10, down the sideline. He stepped out. May for Diggs. He's got him. Diggs thrown out of bounds. On a 3rd and goal, firing easy for that. That's a touchdown to Mac Hollins. Andy Dalton, floater for the end zone. Wide open, touchdown, Carolina. Mitchell Evans.
As Marcus Jones touchdown leads to a 42 unanswered spurt from the Patriots as they absolutely pummel the Panthers, who are, again, we knew coming in this game weren't a great football team, but yeah, they're really bad. They got absolutely embarrassed in this game. Patriots get their biggest win since before Bill Belichick was their coach, maybe something like that. Not before. Since before Belichick left, whatever though. This again was just an absolute dominant win. They're not 4-16 in their last 20 games at home. So again, this was just an absolutely great way to cap off that stretch, I guess. But anyway, for the Panthers, they're now 1-3. They're just not a very good football team. They'll probably lose to the Dolphins next week. Again, last week was a fluke against the Falcons. This was just an absolutely embarrassing performance. Patriots get back to 500. Very fun game against the Bills next week. But for the Panthers, again, just absolutely pathetic. Bryce Young was absolutely terrible in this game. Numbers don't tell you that, but he just missed a lot of reads. And again, the throws just really weren't. Not much going on for this offense, to be honest with you, in that sense. And they got a good first drive, but outside of that, it was just kind of a mess after that. Yeah, Bryce was, I don't want to call him a pussy, but he just was. Like, he didn't make anything that was, like pushing me to the fact that, like, yeah, he can run this offense, and there's got to be something here, because, like, they really did absolutely nothing. No receivers scaring me. Again, Tetraroy, my bad. Again, that's how he wants to pronounce his name, my bad. I'm going to call him Tet, but again, he wants to be called Tetraroy McMillan. You didn't do jack in this one, bro. I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah, the defense also didn't do jack either. They were, like, this entire team literally just did absolutely nothing this game. And if you, I don't say competent, but a decent team like the Patriots, they're not going to let that again slide. They're going to absolutely kick you in the arse, and that's what ended up happening. Yeah, O-line was pretty bad too. Really just not much going on for the Panthers in this one. This was absolutely pathetic. And if you're a Panthers fan, if you're a Panthers player, you should be ashamed by this performance. It's that simple. For the Patriots, though, best game they've had in years. I think that's fair to say. Again, 42 unanswered does kind of tell you that. Drake May continues to be accurate, despite him not really having to make too many big throws. Yeah, again, really good game. He's been awesome since week one. Yeah, dominant running game as well. They just ran the ball at will, really. Again, three guys getting a majority of the carries there. Diggs pulled up. Yeah, he made a couple of decent plays. Again, first 100-yard game of the season for him. He looked pretty solid. Best game he's had so far, despite, J.C. Horn still being pretty decent in this one. Yeah, Marcus Jones set the franchise record with 167, return yards. Again, he passed some random guy from, like, the 60s. I don't even know. Hunter turned it around with his fantasy outlook going to the touchdown as well. Offensively, they were great. I don't have too much to talk about with them. Team stats, the actual Panthers outgained them, which is pretty crazy. But, hey, pathetic performance by the Panthers, guys. We'll see what they can do next week. Hopefully they don't get blown out. That's what I got there. Now let's get to another one.
Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions back home at Ford Field. Gets set to take on Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns.
Play action on first down. Flacco connects with Judy. Fourth and goal. Jerkins is in. Touchdown. 8-yard line. This is Gibbs inside the 5. To the end zone, touchdown! On 3rd and 12, Goff airing it out, looking for Jameson Williams. He turned around for this set of downs for Cleveland. Flacco to the outside, and it's DJ Reed down the sideline. 3rd and goal, fake to Montgomery, St. Brown, touchdown. The Lions back to the 12-yard line, first down and 20. Goff had loads of time, and it's picked off by Denzel Ward. Down at 8, fake to Judkins. Flacco fires down, and it is caught by the rookie Isaiah Bond. Schmidt from 56. It is no good. White. Flacco hit from behind, able to get rid of it, and Judy drops it. Taken out to 35, Khalif Raymond, across midfield, still going, one man to beat, it's the punt for Mayorkas. Penalty flag, as Flacco is hit, ball comes loose, and it's recovered. Wait. 3rd and goal, St. Brown, to the end zone, touchdown.
And I need some relief, my skin.
And the Browns' first trip to Detroit since 2017, the season they went winless. They looked like that winless team as they got handled by the Lions pretty easily. As the Lions moved to 3-1, looked like the most solid team in the NFC outside of the team that can't lose, which we'll get to in a minute. Actually, next game is that. But anyway, they're not 3-1. They've looked really good the past 3 weeks. Their offense continues to roll. Their defense made a lot of plays in this one. Browns' offense continues to struggle, and their defense honestly wasn't completely bad in this one, but still, we'll get into that right now. Browns, though, they got head to London next week on a little bit of a long trip. Lions in their hand. They got a fun game next week. against the who are they playing? How am I forgetting this? Bengals. Yeah, that'll be a game. For the Browns, though, Joe Flacco, 16 of 34, 184 yards and 2 picks. He was not good in this one. A lot of his throws were ill-advised and not good. There's really no other way to put it. Quinshon Judkins technically wasn't great, but like realistically, he broke like 8 tackles on one play, so like not that many, but still, Quinshon was awesome. He's not awesome. He's definitely their best. He's definitely again, if there's an engine in this offense, it is him. Yeah, well, Joe Flacco on that pick, that was just, again, to Kirby Joseph. I don't even know what that was. Again, it wasn't even an arm punt. He was just trying to throw it away, and he didn't even get close to doing so. Yeah, the rookies and Judy are the only ones doing anything on this offense. Again, Jerry Judy still got locked up pretty consistently, but he did make a couple big plays. That was a bad drop on that one play, though. Isaiah Bond had a decent game, made a fantastic catch. He is their most, again, promising receiver right now. Outclassed up front, Batonio and Teller were ineffective. They weren't bad. They just really weren't, again, making big blocks. And yeah, D was put in too many short field situations as well. That's part of the reason they weren't maybe as you might have expected them to perform, especially in the red zone. But it really doesn't matter. When you're putting them in short fields every drive, like, what do you expect? Outside of that, though, they haven't won a road game since week 2 last year, which kind of tells you where they're at. Secondary has to be more aggressive as well. I think that's part of the reason they really weren't good in the red zone either. Penetration wasn't too bad either, though. I think they did do a good job up front in that sense. For the Lions, though, Jared Goff had kind of a pedestrian game. He didn't really have to do too much after that, though. Yeah, they didn't even didn't have to try to run the ball again. They just kind of went with it, and again, it worked pretty well. David Montgomery, again, a lot of those runs, like goal-to-goal situations, he got stuffed a couple times. Yeah, pressure wasn't even funny. They got like at least 8 pressures on, like, I won't say one drive, but almost that many. So it was crazy. Jameson, sold that bomb. That was actually a crazy, crazy play. Anyway, though, Amon-Ra, yeah, he was good. Again, he did get schemed open 4 times from what I saw, but still, good game, 2 touchdowns. Fantasy owners aren't going to be too mad about that. Sewell and Ratledge looked amazing on the combo blocks with down pulls by either the center or the flipping guard. I don't even know. They ran, I think, Dan Skipper out there a couple times. They were just kind of having a blast out there in that sense. And yeah, also 3-1 for the 3rd straight season, which is pretty crazy for this team. And they did their job. Really nothing else to say there. Team stats, again, I think, neither team really got much yardage going. But it didn't matter because there were 3 bad turnovers by the Browns that cooked their defense. And they ended up losing because of that by a pretty decent margin. Now let's get to, again, the Eagles just can't lose, guys. Here's what we saw.
Tampa and a couple of undefeated teams taking on each other today as the Eagles are here to visit the Bucs, both 3-0. And we say welcome to the broadcast booth alongside my partner. Pressure, they blocked it. Sidney Brown's got it. He's going to return it for a touchdown. Play action. Looking deep. It's not there. Now sees Barkley. He's open, but he's going to take it and run. Hurts has a first down. Still in bounds. No tush push formation just yet. A little flip out here. Goddard is going to walk in for a touchdown. Oh, flea flicker. Mayfield looking deep. Looking. Throw it. And that is intercepted. DeJean gets it back. Cooper DeJean. Little flip in. Goddard again, who's got 2 of the easiest touchdown receptions you'll ever see. 65-yarder today. Now it's Mayfield looking. Going deep, has a man. He's got it. Touchdown, Tampa. Do on 1. Ready? They were chipping up. Saquon Barkley. They fooled everyone. He walks in. Time looking, floating on far side. Beauty of a pass, and he's going to go all the way. Bucky Irving, touchdown! Mayfield pressure, steps away, good fake, bouncing off his own guys, in deep trouble. Intercepted! Mayfield in trouble, steps away, way to go for a first. Mayfield's gonna get there! To get to the 29. Mayfield in trouble, throws across his body. Otten's not there, ball is out, loose, and
when I'm with you, yeah, I know I can do it on my.
Not only are the Eagles 4-0, they're now 4-0 for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons. They have not lost a game with Jalen Hurts starting and finishing it since week 4 of last year. That is absolutely insane. And even in that game, they weren't even fully healthy. So really, the last game they were lost when they were fully healthy was week 2 of last year. And that was only the 2nd game with Saquon and their home opener that season, technically. Anyway, though, yeah, the Eagles are now 4-0. They have a really tough game, and I don't even know how to talk about it. They got the Broncos next week at home. That'll be a fun game. Bucs, they're 3-1. They, again, lose pretty handily. Again, this score doesn't really do it justice. Again, if it wasn't for the Eagles not completing a pass in the second half, this game wouldn't have been as close. They completely dominated this game in the first half through most of the 3rd quarter. Bucs, though, They fall to 3-1. They got a chance to bounce back in Seattle next week. That should be hopefully a game they could put on. Maybe not national TV. I don't know. They probably could do that. It's a lot of probablys, and probably not going to happen. Anyway, though, for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he sucked. Cool. He didn't do anything. Last week, it wasn't for the Rams secondary being burnt toast. They probably would have lost, and he probably wouldn't have put up the numbers he did. He made maybe 2 plays where he actually got through an entire progression, and even then he missed the throw. So, guys, Jalen Hurts isn't an average passer in the NFL. He just isn't, and that just showed in this game. Didn't do anything here. Running game, again, Saquon continues to be ineffective. Jalen Hurts had a couple decent scrambles, though, which was good for them. But in terms of the actual notes I have, ranting. Yeah, they're fun to lose at some point. Like this isn't sustainable. Dallas Goedert had 2 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, I guess is demanding a trade or something like that. I don't even know. That's just a bunch of rumors there. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they contain Baker well, I guess. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but still, they did do a good job there. Made Baker throw over the middle, and yeah, he held the ball a lot. That's part of the reason they had some decent pressure. And also, Cooper DeJean had a busy game, as well as Zach Bond doing very good in coverage. And also, he blitzed a lot more than I expected him to as well. Run fits were a little spotty. They weren't bad. I just think there were some plays where they gave up some pretty massive holes on the backside, which obviously Ducky Irving did not cut back on at some points. It's part of the reason he didn't have like 4 touchdowns in this game. On that, though, O-line, yeah, still can't set the edge and build up. Again, until they do that, I don't see how this running game's going to really take off whatsoever. And AJ and Devontae went MIA like last year here. Again, they didn't even play in that game, so kind of tells you where that. And then Dallas Goedert, he had a pretty good escort service in this game. Now for the Bucs. Yeah, Baker, he has to find the open tight over the middle because Kate Otten just didn't really get the ball the way he should have because literally every play they left him open. Baker, though, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns pick. If it wasn't for some of those massive big plays there at the end of the game in garbage time, really, he would have had a much worse game. Bucky, though, had a massive game overall, getting that massive long touchdown. Also helped his case there. But again, Emeka Buka also had a nice touchdown. Rashad White also got involved. He led them in receiving yards, that being Bucky Irving. Yeah, aren't legit for now. Again, I just didn't like that performance whatsoever. Again, this just doesn't look like a team that's very good, especially at home. Other than Baker's big plays or BS big plays, yeah, they were stuck in the mud in this offense. Just didn't really look the way you would need them to look to start winning games. Other than that, though, what do we got? D-line, they were pretty good. I honestly think it was just the fact they weren't really getting the consistent pressure despite Vita Vea having 2 sacks. Other than that, again, they were pretty decent. Can't complain about the secondary. They did do a decent job. They didn't allow a pass to be completed in the second half. You really can't ask for much more than that. Levante, yeah, he's trying to do too much. Again, I understand he's old and he's still really good, but like Devontae, again, you don't need to be doing all this. Servandus Dennis is there to do stuff, and again, he was a non-factor in outside of coverage in this game, which again is a little bit of an issue because you need him making plays. He did have 8 tackles, but it really wasn't again him really just being again a true run stuffer. And then Graham Barn had a hell of a game. Again, he really kept this offensive line together. And then Chris Godwin was pretty rusty in this one as well. Yardage, Bucks outgained them by a mile, but time of possession really wasn't their favorite in the first half. Again, they had some pretty brutal turnovers as well, and were bad on 3rd down. That's what I got there. Bucks, again, this game wasn't as close as this team, even though, the Eagles did not complete a pass in the second half. Now let's get to the last game in the 1 o'clock window, which was, I guess, good.
It's the NFL on CBS Week 4 from Atlanta. We've got the Commanders and the Falcons coming up.
They believe in Algier, and it pays off. Oh, man. 2nd and goal. Penix, end zone, touchdown! Opportunities. He's been tense in the past. He's aware of it. Good run. Rodriguez busting it to the outside. Chase down from behind. Yeah, ball game. Good point. Mariota, end zone, touchdown! McCaffrey! 2nd and 16. Penix, pump. Penix, throw, rainbow, caught by London. Formation with Robinson. Give it to him.
Expose him!
He's shot with the buster! Cloud early. Penix will throw it. In stride. Robinson! Bijan Robinson! Get it! Pistol formation. Penix, fake it. Flip it. Catch made. Pitts. Touchdown! Floyd among those there defensively flagged out. Deep shot. Mariota! Over the shoulder interception! Much crisper offense from the Falcons today than a week ago, but Penix is intercepted! Picked off in midfield by Sainris. In there, they give Robinson a break for a moment, and Algier is trying to slice, and he does! Oh, he's dishing out punishment! 4th down. Mariota looking for it all. End zone! Touchdown! Samuel with the silencer. Chip shot is good.
And the Falcons play a much more complete performance as they knock off the Commanders in a big game, 34-27, to even both these teams' records up at 2-2. Commanders had some opportunities to pull ahead in this game, and they just did not do so. And again, that led to that go-ahead field goal late, which kept the Commanders out of this game in terms of keeping it at one score. Again, Falcons have a fun game. I'm joking, they're on the bye week next week. Commanders in their hand have to head to LA for a game that will be very challenging. Again, without Jayden Daniels, this offense looks stuck in the mud most of the way, and they had a lot of issues, which we'll get into now. For Marcus Mariota, though, simply looked like he went back, like once he entered this stadium, like literally took a step in. It was him in 2022, where he was an ineffective passer. He had no sort of like range at all in terms of his A dot. On top of the fact that he just simply was just an ineffective passer, and that's what he was in this game. That arm punt was kind of not even arm. It was literally an arm punt on the interception. One of the touchdowns he threw was decent, but still, like, you got to be better here. The running game didn't really lean into that, which was kind of bizarre, even though really two of those runs were kind of inflating this statistic. But still, they didn't really lean into that running game. Marcus Mariota probably should have kept the ball more than 2 times. Other than that, though, Debo, yeah, he did run really good routes, and they were also on time, which is a very rare, double whammy for him. But again, when he does that, he's gonna obviously make plays. Yeah, they should have won this game, to be honest with you guys. Again, they were the better team at some points, but again, with the fact how Marcus was throwing it, again, you really can't see that happening too often. Yeah, secondary can only hold in zone so long, especially with linebackers playing multiple roles pre-snap and post-snap. That's part of the reason they gave some pretty pretty bad yak plays, just because of the fact, again, you got Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner being multiple, which, again, is just not really a smart move in the first place, especially, but, they're both great, so it kind of makes sense, again, in that sense. But still, the pass rush was non-existent. 4 fumbles as well. That's not going to get you very far, even though they recovered 3 of them. Deron Payne can't be the only consistent pressure guy as well. They got to figure that out. And, yeah, couldn't seize any opportunities as well, again, as I talked about earlier. For the Falcons, and we'll look at the team stats in a second, but for the Falcons, Michael Penix had a much, much better game. He was surgical overall on this one, made a lot of just nice layered throws, not in terms of actual, like, lofting on the ball, but still layered throws. And then just really didn't make too many bad reads, and also a very well-coached game from Raheem Morris. Hats off to him. Tyler Alligator, really not very, again, efficient, but he got the close yards. Bijan had a couple nice runs. He also had that one huge 69 nice yard catch and run. And then obviously Drake London 8 for 110 and a touchdown on a bounce back week. Kyle Pitts is good. Darnell Mooney still has not really found his groove this season. Oh, and yeah, they did get clean pockets, like handing those out like candy wrappers for Michael Penix. Xavier Watts with the attempted the arm punt recovery as well. That was pretty funny. Pressure rate was solid. I don't think it was actually as good as I thought it would be as they retract the stat, but again, it was still decent enough. Corners were shut down mostly. Again, they had a couple of bad plays, but still they were really good. And had too many big holes as well for this D-line. I think that was pretty bad. And then, the D-tackles did play well, though, in terms of overall. And again, we look at their pass rush. That was part of the reason they did have success there. And other than that, though, that's really all I got for this game. And it was pretty decent overall performance by both sides. John Parker Romo was pretty solid as well. Team stats, Falcons offense obviously moved the ball pretty consistently. They also control time possession. For Commanders, though, you probably want to get back Jayden Daniels at some point pretty soon. But that's all I got there. Now let's get to, I guess, maybe the second most wild game of the day. We'll leave the tie for that.
The Rams and quarterback Matthew Stafford are ready to bounce back from a crushing loss last week. But Daniel Jones and the unbeaten Colts are here to see how they measure up in a West Coast test.
It's Taylor, and rather Jones on the play fake. He's going up top, looking downfield for Adonai Mitchell, and it's intercepted. Cam Curl with the pick. Jones under center, turns, hands to Warren. Warren barrels inside the 2 and is down at the 1. No, it's a touchdown. Stafford with pressure coming late, looking for Nakua down the sideline, and Stafford drops it in. Into the end zone. Devontae Adams with the touchdown. And the 96-yard Rams drive. Turn, play action. Flag is down. Jones to the end zone. Caught for the touchdown by Michael Pittman. And the Colts take the lead. First down, ball is out. Williams lost it. Loose on the turf. Still being dribbled about. And the Colts have it at the 17-yard line. Go. Stafford looking, throws. Nakua with the catch and the touchdown. Four-man pressure, but it gets to Jones. The ball pops out. Stripped out by Verse. And Jones heaves it for Pittman on the sideline. Intercepted! Cam Curl's done it again!
And the wildest game before Sunday night, the Rams knock off the undefeated Colts on that late 88-yard bomb to Tutu Atwell. There were a lot of issues they had in this one, but again, they were still able to pull it out, move to 3-1 for the first time since their Super Bowl winning season in 2021. They have a very good opportunity to win a couple games now, especially with their, with Brock Purdy being questionable, and also that with them being, again, on a short week against the Niners on Thursday, and them being home for Thursday Night Football with that one. That's a very good opportunity. Colts, though, they were legit in this one. I wasn't really expecting too much out of them in this one, but they came out and they played really, really well. Probably partly my fault. Again, they should have honestly won this game. The Rams didn't really play that well, to be honest with you guys, especially, again, the Donnie Mitchell plays. They again, lost on those two. Like, and they outplayed them in that sense. On top of that, though, they will be playing the Raiders at home next week in a game they definitely could bounce back in, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. For the Colts, though, notes I actually have on them are consisting of, this team is legit. Again, they played well. Adonis, this game kind of just summed up his entire career to this point. He can't buy a touchdown. Again, he just keeps shooting himself in the foot until that doesn't happen. Again, he's a talented player. He's just, again, he's not going to be like a good player until that changes. Yeah, JT now, Mitchell, yeah, we'll see. It's pretty bad. Have now lost 3 straight close games to the Rams. Again, we look at 2021, the Rams Super Bowl season. I'm going to mention again. Again, they won that one late 27-24. 2023, Puka had a massive game, I think even more massive than this one. And they won that one overtime 29-23. And again, late touchdown here to win this one as well. Again, also the callback was pretty bad as to boot. But anyway, secondary getting cooked by Rams wide receiver one speaks to below average high end cornerbacks. They just don't have, again, that one dude in the secondary. Again, if they did have that, again, Puka would not have went off the way he did. But again, they just don't. So what else you can really ask them to do? Give up an 80-yard touchdown with 10 guys in the field and their one safety falling on his butt. I mean, I guess that's what they could ask. And again, that's obviously what happened. With that said, though, Nick Cross is a star player. He made a big impact in this game. He's just an impact player, and he's going to make a lot of plays, and he's going to be really good, and he might be a top 10 safety after I watch this game. On that, though, yeah, running game, again, it wasn't technically bad. They had some good holes. It just really wasn't what it was early last week. Have also lost 5 straight to the Rams as well. Laitu Latu has the biggest toolbox ever. Yeah, he made a lot of just gross moves on whether it was even Rob Havenstein. I think Howard Jackson did do a good job on him, but still, yeah, Laitu Latu, he's got an absolute massive toolbox. And he played well against the run, too, which I wasn't expecting at all in this one, especially, again, with how they were going to run the ball. But still, to do a decent job there. Mekhi Blackman, yeah, fell down on that play. Anyway, though, for the Rams, biggest issue was the fact they abandoned the run. This running game was really cooking, and they just didn't really go for it. Blake Corum was awful in this game, though. That is fair to say. He had very poor performance from him. Matt Stafford, though, cooked up 29-41, 375, and again, 3 touchdowns. He had that huge game-tying drive as well as the go-ahead touchdown as well. He played out of his mind in this one, which was a lot, I mean, not out of his mind, but played a lot better than last week and kind of balancing out those 2 performances. Even though, again, that touchdown kind of inflated the stats. See what happens when you use Tutu. He's a pretty good receiver, as you, again, hopefully seen. Devontae Adams didn't have his greatest game, but still, again, put up decent numbers. Puka got targeted like 50 times, and, he produced with that, as you might expect him to. I know this is, this is how this is going to end. Honestly, again, I knew, despite them being down and stuff and they weren't playing well, they're going to pull this one out. They're just going to, it's against Colts. This is what they do against them, at least recently. Yeah, where's Terrence Ferguson? He's probably their most talented tight end on this entire roster. They're just not using him. I'm kind of frustrated about that. Cam Curl had his best game as a Ram. He had 2 picks, obviously, but on top of that was great against the run. Just was overall, was just cooking and looked great. Forbes is absolutely trash. Yeah, that's fair to say. He's a weak link on that defense without Ahkello Witherspoon working. He has to be that number 1 guy going against a receiver that's going to make a lot of plays. Just really wasn't that great. And I wasn't surprised Alec Pierce didn't pull off a big play on him, but again, they just didn't really use him too much. So again, that's part of the reason that it made it 4% not to cover him that much. On that, though, they abandoned the run. Again, that was a big issue. Yeah, okay. O-line continues to get worse and better. Yeah, I guess. It was just kind of a bizarre game. Darius Williams wasn't awful. He did play pretty well. And then, Jared Verse, again, obviously is great. And Jalen McCall was very responsible in this game. Other than that, though, yardage-wise, both teams played out a pretty good game. But 460 yards of offense, the Rams will be getting it done most games, despite them still being struggling on third down, maybe not being the greatest in the red zone. They get to win. 3 turnovers by the Colts, though. Obviously, 1 costing them a touchdown. Was what changed this game up mostly, even though, again, the last pick was a little bit skewed, obviously being a pretty big desperation throw from Daniel Jones. That's all I got for you guys in this game. Now let's get to a game that was a lot more sloppy, and I guess it really wasn't even a good finish either.
Trevor Lawrence was at Levi's Stadium. He won a national title with Clemson. He leads the 2-1 Jaguars out to San Francisco to take on the returning Brock Purdy and the undefeated Niners.
Comes Eric Armstead. It's caught by Luke Farrell, the former Jaguar, and he pounds his way for a first down. That ball came out at the end of the play. Could it be a takeaway? And it is. ETN
Nice cut, big run. ETN with a nice move, and he breaks free for the touchdown. On 3rd and 5, Purdy floats it. Pearsall looking for separation. Did he hold on? What a catch inside the Jacksonville 40. Off the fake, Purdy. Up and downfield. He's going to float it for McCaffrey. Loose ball. Picked off by Devin Lloyd. 1st and goal. Off the play action. Lawrence. Long. Touchdown. We'll check those penalty flags that came flying. Purdy. Shovel. McCaffrey. Navigating to the end zone for the touchdown. Both on the right. Purdy throws back to the left. Jump ball. And it is held on to with injury issues. Purdy floats it and throws an interception to Devin Lloyd. Back, he's got a punt return touchdown in his career, and he's got an alley, and he might have his second. 96 yards last year against the Patriots. He's going to house this one. Now they're going for the line. 4th down and 3. Big play. Purdy fires. Incomplete for Robinson. Motions. Purdy the screen to the left. For Tonjes with a convoy. And Jake Tonjes is in the end zone for a second time. On its way. Looking wide. It is. Still a 5-point lead. Purdy stops. Ball is out. Loose ball on the deck. Did the Jaguars do it again? Now Lawrence still looking for a 1st down. That's going to seal it. And it's Long to slide down to take it to the 2-minute warning.
Keep from tearing the skin off my.
And that's all as the Jags moved to 3-1 with a pretty surprising 26-21 win over the Niners, who now fall out of undefeated club, I guess is what you'd want to call it. Brock Purdy has some injury toe issue thing. They didn't look very good in this one. They just really aren't that good either, so that's probably part of it. They won't be getting Brandon Ayuk until after the mini bye as well, or yeah, something like that. Again, that's been looking back at week 6, but they're not 3-1. They'll be heading to SoFi for the Rams on a short week on Thursday. Jags in their hand, they've got something. I don't know who they're playing, but they are playing someone. That's what I can tell you. Oh wait, no, I still can't figure it out. They're playing who are the Jags playing next week? Oh, Chiefs on Monday night. That'll be a fun game. They'll probably lose that, but still. For the Jags, takeaways I've got. Trevor was not good in this game. I mean, he really didn't make too many bad throws. There were just so many plays where he just left him on the field, and I think it was just him trying to be safe. Great dynamics from this defense, though. I really liked the tempo they ran, and then Devin Lloyd was absolutely great in this one. The pressure maybe wasn't the most consistent, but when they got it, was very, very effective. Trayvon and Hines Allen have a great combo package for 3rd down. They're really just collapsing the pocket at that point, to be honest with you guys, because they both can just completely just blow you up off the line. And again, Trayvon is pretty darn good. I don't even know where he is. Where's Trayvon Walker? Where are we at, bro? Yeah, did he even play? He definitely left. But yeah, he played well early. With that said, though, BTJ is still raw. Yeah, he is. He got it, so he had definitely his moments. Some of those routes were bad. Again, he didn't get his feet down and stuff. That's what was going on. And then Harrison was very good in this game. That's something I definitely just saw on tape. He really came with finesse moves as well, which again, he should be able to. That's his strength. Shout out to Jamal Agnew. Huge return for that touchdown that kept him ahead in this game. ETN is the top 10 running back so far. Is the top 10 running back. He was really good. 124 yards, had that 48-yard touchdown where he broke down some safety's ankles, and that was what was able to get him in the end zone. Anyway, that's really about the Jags. They're a good team. Or not a good team. They played well. Niners, though. Brock Purdy turnovers were inexcusable. Those were really bad. Juwan Jennings disappeared. I don't know where he went. He probably went to the trainer's tent or something because I didn't see him out there. CMC is due for a massive run. Again, maybe not this week, but maybe against the Rams on Thursday. I could definitely see him breaking something off. Is there a better offensive lineman than Trent Williams right now? Because he was actually, you couldn't get around him in this game. As usual, though. Defense was missing something. I wonder who it was. But yeah, outside of that, though, Michael Williams got absolutely no pressure. Bryce Huff, I think, did do a decent job, but still wasn't anywhere close to what we saw a couple years ago. Diamond Lenore is still a really good boundary corner for them. And he's very underrated. Darrell Letter Jr. was also good. Yeah. How do they, let Hunter Long cook y'all? What is he doing, bro? He's literally a bum. Anyway, that's all I got for this game. I honestly don't care either about this one either. So, again, neither of these teams are really going that far. But Niners' offense was actually somewhat efficient, but I don't really care because they still lost. And Jags, looking forward to see you guys on Monday night.
65
4,000 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas as the Chicago Bears have descended upon Sin City.
Gino has to field that high snap on 3rd and 10, throws a dart, and he's picked. Center of the field, it's Byard. And Byard has some running. Boy, they roll the dice, and they don't get it. Football then comes out. So that'll... Williams batted up in the air, and it is picked. Crosby.
Sewell is really taking advantage of this opportunity.
Now, Dennis Allen likes Edmonds in that spot. This is Genty out of the backfield. Genty sprung free.
Love it from the Bears.
Boy, they're going to go for it. Fourth, just under a yard, and they pick it up.
Offense, this look.
Raiders 0-2 on 3rd down so far. Gino protected this time. Gino over the middle, and that's picked. Genty springs free. Turns on the Jets, one guy to beat. Byard can't bring him down, and the rookie on a dead sprint. Geno Smith gonna run for it, and he is picked again. And the one pick, Williams slings it over the middle, caught Odunze for the Chicago touchdown. 2nd and goal. Gino underneath over the middle, Genty. He's got his 2nd touchdown catch. Genty getting a breather here, Mostert giving him a blow, and Mostert's got a 1st down running more. 1st and goal Bears, buck 39 left in regulation. Swift to the outside, in for the Chicago touchdown.
Left side.
Williams steps up, Williams looking, end zone.
Out of my mind, how many times did I tell you?
One of the closest and thrilling games of the day-ish is the Bears are able to escape Vegas with a 25-24 hard-earned victory. They are now 2-0 in Allegiant Stadium. Again, they now move to 2-2 with their 2nd straight win, and they've got a very, very big game next week against the... Oh, they're on the bye. Hey, I got you guys. Raiders, though, are now 1-3. They have the Colts on the road next week in what should honestly be an ugly game. But we'll see how that actually plays out, because they, again, shot themselves in the foot like 50 times in this one. Caleb Williams, I still don't think I had to do too much in this game, but it was probably a better performance than he's really had all year. Yeah, despite having better, not great anticipation over the middle, and yeah, couldn't get off his 3rd read as well, which is fair, because again, I wouldn't either, because again, if he gets to his 3rd read again, that's just a win as it is right there. Swift had a good game. Wasn't very efficient, but he made a lot of timely plays. Yeah, Odunze is their best receiver. I don't even think it's really that close. He's the only guy getting open consistently. He runs very, very, very complex releases that, again, I wasn't really expecting to go into having this year. But, again, he really worked in the offseason. Those are actually pretty consistent as well. So, again, Rome Odunze, he's just getting open, guys. That's simple. He's looking like he should. Again, a lot better than last season so far. O-line was really good as well. I think this was one of the best performances we've seen in a while. Solid pressure as well from this D-line. Maybe not to meet, again, really the result. But, again, that was part of the reason some of those passes got picked off. Secondary was, yeah, they were having a lot of fun, despite, the loss of Jalen Johnson. They're doing their own thing out there. Yeah, where was TJ Edwards as well? I didn't see him out there again. It looked a little bit weird, because again, he's kind of like their stalwart of that run defense as well. And yeah, on track. Don't get off the rails again. If they don't play well next week, they're definitely going to be getting off the rails. This was a very well-rounded performance by this team. And then we look again, despite them needing a block kick to win. Raiders, despite their countless opportunities, again, in 3 picks from Geno Smith, were still in this game, which I think just is impressive in its own right. But again, Ashton Genty went absolutely crazy. He had that 64-yard touchdown. This is the Ashton Genty we've all been waiting for. And look what he did. He had a massive game, and he scored 3 touchdowns. So, can't really ask for much more from him. Jacoby Myers ran horrible routes. Again, he still had 30 yards, I guess. But again, I was even shocked he did that, because most of his routes were either 3 yards off or they were 3 yards short. It was just a bunch of, who knows what was going on. And yeah, Brock Bowers was a bum in this one, despite not putting bad numbers. He just really wasn't that effective. He didn't really look, I'm not saying we want to be out there, but he wasn't engaging really the way he needed to. It's part of the reason they didn't really maybe get the consistent running game they wanted out of a guy like Raheem Mostert on those other 3 carries, other than the one he broke as well. But again, very good running game overall from this team. Miller also sort of stunk. He was a little bit shaky. Yeah, tough end of this game as well for this team. Defense doesn't have a cover linebacker. I think that's pretty fair to say. Devin White was really put in that role and did not play well. Not really his fault, but still. Max Crosby didn't get consistent pressure despite the interception. That's part of the reason they lost this one as well. No one was consistently winning. Tyree Wilson did have a really nice sack on that bull rush, though. Other than that, though, what else do we have? Yeah, corners weren't physical. I think that's fair to say. Darian Porter really didn't do too much with that. Team stats, again, the Raiders outgained them. They had a lot, just 240 yards rushing is crazy. But again, that's why they won this one, but lost this one because of 4 turnovers. There we go. I connected the dots. But yeah, big win for the Bears. Good for them. And yeah, they're probably going to lose next week. But anyway, now let's get to, again, I guess what was the biggest big game of the day, which really just didn't turn out to be. It was really just disappointing. Disappointment at the end of the day.
It's a beautiful day and 88 degrees at what they call the loudest stadium in the world. A pair of premier teams, shockingly. 4 for 4 to start. He's going to throw here. Sidearms it to Hill, and he's in for the touchdown. Tranquil blitzing. He's picked up. Here comes another one. Bolton coming after him. And the pass is intercepted. And an 8. Oh, you want a vertical game? Here you go. There's Worthy deep to the 45-yard line. Here's an end around to Worthy. He's got room. Worthy racing. Looking to strike. Pass caught. Juju Smith-Schuster. The blitz again, and the pass is just thrown to the sideline.
Back, they want this ball back. They don't want them to waste the entire clock.
Rolling out, flinging it. Pacheco finds his way to the end zone and
exploited it. That's why they got 7 sacks.
They're a yard short of the first. Third down. Ball comes out, popped right out of the hands. Nope. And that kick is no good. Back on first down. Pass open is Worthy. Inside the 20.
Passes right away. Boom.
End zone bound. Caught. Touchdown. Kansas City. Pass in zone. Caught. Touchdown. Hollywood Brown. Number 4 for Mahomes. On 4th and 5. Oh, it's caught. And a loss. Hill starts to gallop. Can someone catch? Connor lost his footing. Look at Hill take off. And he takes it the distance.
No, I don't know myself anymore.
And an injury-riddled game for the Ravens where they lost 7 starters as well as their start on defense. And there again, their starting franchise superstar, Hall of Fame quarterback Lamar Jackson to a hamstring injury. They got blown out by the Chiefs 37-20. This wasn't even this close. The offense of the Chiefs was hyper efficient. They made a couple big plays downfield as well to kind of get things going as well. They're now 2-2 and are looking great. They got a huge one against the Jags next week on Monday Night Football. While the Ravens hope to not fall to 1-4 and be in a really big hole. As again, they were at 0-2 last year, but this might be even worse. And considering how their defense is playing, probably the case is they've now given up at least 37 points in 3 of their first 4 games. Again, all those games not really being contests again at in the final minute. Anyway, though, we look at the Ravens. Defense is genuinely concerning. Yeah, I don't have time to say it again. It's just kind of the truth there. Yeah, they needed that diversify the passing game. Again, I love Dave Flowers, but he's really the only guy to be running any primary routes. Mark Andrews needs to be utilized. Rashad Bateman had one good route and, again, caught the ball on that play. So, again, they could definitely use him a little bit more there. Derrick Henry had a rough game, but still only 8 carries is pretty pathetic. Justice Hill, again, had the long touchdown as well. Injury offensive line needs more momentum to help out Derek. What I mean by that is, again, if you get him to a pass play, and they're able to lock up there, and then on the next play you kind of get him moving downhill, even an RPO situation, those plays will really put this offensive line in kind of a comfort mode where they can actually block for Derek, which they weren't able to do this week. Nate Wiggins is getting used wrong. I don't know what they're trying to do with him. Why are they putting him in situations where he needs to be the primary run defender, especially, again, off the edge? Don't know what they're doing with that. He got injured as well in this game because of that. Again, like, what are you doing with him? He's your best cornerback. Like, what are we doing? Other than that, though, 7 starters got injured on defense. That's just not good. Worst start with Lamar, again, been a long time as well. They haven't been 1-3 in a minute. They've never been 0-4, though. That was their worst record ever through 4 games. You know, momentum, again, as a team to win next weekend. If they don't get momentum, I think they're going to just fall on their face and lose to the Texans. Probably not, though, because of the Texans' offenses. But we'll see how that works out. Week on week next week. Again, it's a storyline for that Texans and Ravens game. Oh, I didn't talk about the Chiefs. Oh, no, I did. Anyway, though, Mahomes, his best game of the season so far. 4 touchdowns. Was very, very efficient underneath. Looked really comfortable. Didn't miss many reads. Also made a couple of nice throws downfield. Part of the reason, again, they were able to open things up. The running game still sucks, but, like, who really cares? Xavier Worthy is the difference. Again, at least right now, 5 for 83, obviously, in this one. But until they get Rashee Rice back, he will be the X factor in this offense. Kelsey, no. He's like, no, I'm not going to do too much. I had a decent game, though. Running game was not featured. Yeah, it was not part of the film, I guess. Defense was really, really good. This is what we want to see. Super Bowl form, Leo Chenal, the pick. He's probably the best, what would you say, Sam linebacker right now in football. But they don't even run Sams. I don't know what they're trying to do with that. Connor needs to be careful with the boundary fits. Yeah, that's part of the reason he gave that touchdown. I understand it was garbage time, but those plays will burn him in big moments, and I'm not putting it past him to do that in an actual big moment. George Kalafis with a really nice sack as well. McDuffie stepped up to boot. Again, this was just a very, very, very good game by the Chiefs. They took advantage of a team that obviously didn't have their best, and, that's why they won. So, again, big game yardage-wise, they had 382. Again, really didn't game by too much. But, again, time possession was in their favor as well. Very well-rounded victory. 2 bad turnovers by the Ravens also hurt them. Yeah, Lamar got picked. Very rare occurrence there as well. That is all I got for this game. There's not really too much to go off of except the Chiefs played really well. Now let's get to a wild Sunday Night Football game.
Let's see. Here they come.
Here comes some pressure. Picked up for the moment. Love taking the shot. 2 receivers, same area. Who's got it? The rookie Golden Dove. Love looking quick towards Romeo Dobbs. Held on. And Love slant. Dobbs touchdown. McManus has the extra point blocked, and the Cowboys trying to take it back for 2 with Marquise Bell. The Dallas on the board with a 2-pointer. 29, Prescott put it up for Pickens. Safety coming over. Did Pickens bring that down? Remarkable stuff. Prescott gonna keep it. Quarterback draw for the touchdown. So difficult to come back from. 1st and 15. Love had the ball. Game's first turnover.
One of the things that
adjusting the play. Parsons off the edge. Prescott end zone touchdown. Pickens. Improbably Dallas leads. Jacobs walks it into the end zone for the Green. Ferguson working at the top. Dak looking that way. Throwing that way. Ferguson touchdown. 2nd down. Jacobs bounces to the outside. Cuts it to the inside. Terrific finish. 2nd and goal. Direct snap. Williams in for the touchdown. There. Flip sides. Cowboys bringing 4. Love throwing end zone. Touchdown. Romeo Dobbs again.
there are going to be some chances down the field.
That got rid of it. Here's Pickens inside the 10. Pickens to the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. It's McManus to tie the game from 53 yards. Operation clean. Kick is right down the middle. Prescott gets away. Parsons chasing him. Puts it up for grabs. Coming back. He's over. Did he keep his feet in? Yes, he did. And he pops it through, and the Cowboys take the lead.
You guys can't make this up. Like, again, we haven't had time in the NFL in 3 years, and then, again, this is the game that's a tie. Like, you got to be kidding me, guys. Again, the Packers almost lost this, too, again, that last play, as you saw. So, Matt LaFleur should be happy. Packers defense has had, this is their worst game I've seen out of them in years, as the Cowboys just marched up and down the field like they really just didn't even care. But still, Packers are now 2-1-1. They'll be on their bye week next week. The much needed Cowboys fall to 1-2-1, but they got the Jets on the road next week. Hopefully, they get back to 5. No, hopefully not, but still, they'll probably get back to 500 next week as well. With that said, though, for the Packers, Jordan Love was shaky. Yeah, the numbers don't look too bad, but there were a lot of plays in the pocket where he wasn't great. I will say that the offensive line did struggle to create pockets for Love to move through. What I mean by that is, like, obviously there was a pocket, but he wasn't able to, like, step up and make those plays, which, again, we look back to that wild card game, which, again, a lot different this time. That was really where he was able to excel in that game. Again, looking back to that 2023 wild card there. Started perfect. Micah was slowed down. He didn't have a bad game in my opinion. I still think he got like 3 or 4 pressures, but still, he was not really effective in this one overall. I wouldn't say taken out of it, but they did a really good job against him. Yeah, genuine concern on the boundary, ball tracking for the secondary. None of those guys, except obviously Xavier McKinney, are really, like, again, tracking the ball as well as the player to a consistent level where I think, again, they could really be trusted there, which, again, is a big issue right now. Yeah, first, again, tie in the NFL since 2022. Second highest scoring tie ever as well, and you heard that in the intro. O-line struggled to create yeah, okay, we already talked about that. First non-win in Dallas ever. Again, that being in the AT&T Stadium. They were 6-0 coming into this one. And they also got stopped on front. That was not really a good part of the film, to say the least. And then running game continues to have issues as well. I think they'll get better as the season goes on, but that's, again, it's been an issue the past 2 weeks. If it wasn't for that one touchdown he scored, again, like 15 yards out, I don't think this would have been really talked about even close to the same, again, on some people's level. Anyway, though, this defense, like I said, big issues. They'll definitely, I think those will be kinked out, though. For the Cowboys, though, Dak went off. He was absolutely phenomenal. This is the best game I've really seen since, again, the couple of those spurts in 2021 and 2023 where he was an MVP candidate, and he was technically an MVP finalist in 2023 as well, but still, you get the point there. Dak showed up and showed out, and that's part of the reason, I guess, they tied. Again, like, it's so stupid that ties actually exist, guys. Javonte Williams was really good. I have a bunch of, I don't say meaningless notes, but again, I took these really quick. Need more consistent linebacker coverage. Again, we look at Zach Sanborn. He really isn't doing much of that in man coverage. Kenneth Murray, again, has never been good there. Donovan Wilson, I'd be interested to see if they kind of move him into that sort of hybrid role. That would be probably a good idea. Pickens was up and down on this one as well. He didn't have his best game. But again, still 134, 2 touchdowns. You're really not going to complain at all. He just absolutely produced, obviously, there. Offense was has been great at home. They've scored 40 in both games. I'm not expect that every week, but this will probably be a pretty good offensive team at home this season. D-line showed improvement as well. They weren't exactly good, but they definitely, again, a lot more resistance than what we're used to seeing out of them. Loved Hooker's approach and instincts. He got injured, but still, when he was on the field, he was making really, really good plays. Just on film, there were a lot of good plays in terms of the anticipation from him. Terrence Steele held up nicely against, again, there were some plays where he was, again, he's not a really good pass blocker, but he still held nicely against Micah Parsons on like 2 or 3 plays where he was asked to cover him, again, by himself. Or block him. There we go. They needed this as well. I don't think if they had a performance really anything close to this, they probably would have. It would have been a little bit different. Have to create again confusion with motions rather than solely for the running game function. The reason I say that is because again it makes this offense a lot more unpredictable, which is again where they want to be. Clowney is interesting on this team. Again, he didn't really play, but still, again, when he's on there, again, just adds another wrinkle. And then Tolbert should have a big game next week, and I have no doubt in that. His numbers this game were not the greatest, but I think again next week will definitely be better. And again, Brandon Aubrey didn't have to do too much. That's all I got for you guys for this game. Again, it was a tie. Again, neither team won, obviously. So again, there's really not too much going off of that though. 164 yards rushing though for the Packers is a little bit unique though. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys here. If you stayed through this entire thing, thank you. Again, this was an absolutely wild week. We'll see you for the Monday Night Football recap tomorrow. Also, go check out. Go check that out. Power Rankings come up as well.
Comes the blitz. Castellanos in trouble. Heaves one towards the end zone. Intercepted. It's over. Virginia